Hey everyone, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in today, and you're in for a treat. We're here we're calling it Meet the Visionaries. We have Jonathan and Lynn here, and they have totally transformed this church into the beautiful dream home that it is today. And I feel like every square foot tells a story. They've used so many, we'll dive into this and they can tell it better than I can, but they've used so many amazing local materials, truly crafted with love and attention and just true vision and brilliance. So I said to them, we have to sit down, we got to go over all these details, put it out there for everyone in this exciting coming soon video, because this home will be listing very soon. So you're getting the heads up sneak peek now. But here we are with Jonathan and Lynn. We don't have a studio audience, so there's no clapping. So yeah, but I'll do my own little clap for you. So. Thanks guys for being willing to do this, and yeah, I'm truly honored and privileged just to be the one to share your story. I'm the Oprah today, right? So here we are, and everyone has been asking so many questions. I know you've gotten questions for a long time, but so how long ago was it that you first saw the church here? Like, we're in March 2021 now. It feels like we're living in the future. But when did you first kind of?
September 19.
September or October is when we found the church.
Yeah. Okay. So it's and it's happened. You guys have been busy, right? Like, it's happened. This transformation. You've been working on it, I would say, constantly, almost, right? Like you guys are hard workers.
Work is easy to be found here.
Yeah.
Finishing this project up.
Yeah. And so the first question I had too is, so when you first saw the church here, like was there a moment where it first clicked, where, because a lot of people would see something, a lot of people don't have the vision to see something and then see what it could be. So like, was there a moment like when you walked through the front door, or when you saw it online, or like, was there like an aha moment, so to speak, where it was like, wow, I see a kitchen here, I see I see, was there a moment?
Yeah, definitely. I think I was the first one to come see it, because you found it online.
Yeah.
I didn't do a walkthrough, so I walked around the church with my friend Kim.
Yep.
And I saw the front doors. And as you can see, I love anything chippy white.
Yeah.
The doors were chippy white, and I was like, wow, like this church is speaking to me right now.
Yeah.
So we booked a walkthrough, and we immediately knew we wanted to put an offer on it. Mm-hmm. And right away, I think our very first design is what we went with.
Yeah, the first design, the kitchen was over here, but other than that, it was exactly the way it was. We saw it and immediately just went for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right from the get-go.
Yeah.
I knew in my head what it was going to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had that vision, and and you made it happen. A lot of people have ideas, and it doesn't get finished, right? But you had the vision, stuck to it, and we're at 99% right now, right? So I know it's just those last minute touches, and even just recently this year, maybe you can tell me a little bit, but I know everyone that moves to the country, basically their number one thing is like, if it doesn't have a shop, is like, can I build a shop?
Yes.
And you just built a shop, 2,000 square feet, right? A 2,000 square foot shop?
Yeah. Yeah, so Jonathan and I, because of our business, we know that everybody needs a shop.
Yeah.
It declutters your house, you can keep the noise in one space. Even though we knew we were going to sell the church, we wanted to make that happen. Mm-hmm. Pretty much every dream that we had, we wanted to make sure that it was complete before we put it on the market.
Yeah.
We didn't want to leave anything unfinished. So the workshop, which is literally going to be complete this week.
Yeah. Brand new workshop.
Brand new workshop, 2-level.
Yeah.
It looks like your typical barn. But we did put some twist in it with the burnt wood.
Shosugi-ban.
Shosugi-ban is what they call it.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, and it really warms up the church. I think the
Yeah.
church needed that extra workspace
Yeah.
just to warm up the outside of it. Yeah.
And we did go for a variance just to go a little higher.
Oh, yeah.
Just so it does match up to the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice and tall, and lots of room on the second story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
So all
Yes.
those little small details that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I've seen a lot of transformations, and some people don't do it right. Like, you know, it's like, okay, you did it, but you didn't do it right. And so one thing I noticed and appreciate about you guys is the quality. Like, maybe is there a story or something that you can tell me that speaks to like your attention to detail? You know, like I'm just blown away with the attention to detail and quality. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, for us, we always looked at a project and knew that there was an easier way, less time to do it, but it's not what we wanted. So if it's what we wanted and it took twice as long, that's what we went with. We weren't afraid to work harder to get to what we want.
Yeah.
For instance, the flooring we used upstairs is all reclaimed wood. One of the boards had 152 nails in it that Lynn and myself denailed, planed down, and reused. So we just took the extra step when we could.
And I think as well, Jonathan and I were a great team because we balance each other out. I am more of a design guru. As
Yeah.
Jonathan, I can have an idea, and it's really hard for me to maybe explain that idea to someone. But once we met in the middle and he understood where I was,
Right.
he was able to execute that idea.
Yeah.
Because I can't physically, use every tool. Jonathan
He's
is
a strong guy.
He's a strong guy. He's the physical part of everything, as
Yeah.
I am more the design part of everything.
Yeah.
And I think we balance each other out really well that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so many couples have asked us, like, wow, how did you guys get through this? And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's just, we just work really well together.
Yeah.
And obviously through the business, we work well together, and doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and we've reached out just to our sphere and to say, hey, what questions do you have? And one person asked that question. They said, were you living here, say, the whole time during the transformation? Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah.
There was full commitment. We lived in a trailer
Yeah.
right outside the church for a little over 8 months.
8 months.
And her brother was here every day at 5 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Very committed, ready to go to work. And we worked from 5 till we couldn't any longer in
Yeah.
the day for 8 months straight.
Wow.
Yeah, till like physically every night was different, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what needed to get done.
Yeah.
I think my brother was our push in all of that.
Yeah.
He's a hard worker. Without him, we could have never done this.
Yeah.
The three of us, plus Jonathan's dad, and we just worked well together.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had some long hours. It took us 8 months to complete this project, which was pretty amazing.
And a little bit of blood.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Was there a few scratches or nothing to...
Nothing. We're not going to talk about all of them.
Yeah. There was a
Quite
couple.
embarrassing, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
We all had a little blood and sweat. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and a lot of love poured into it too, right? So,
Yes.
and I think people can feel that. Well, and you've told me stories too about people that have seen the home here and they have like an emotional response. And I know
Yeah.
some people, not to set the bar too high, but some people have even cried
Yes.
when
Yeah.
they've seen
Yeah.
it. Like that's pretty special.
We had a lady come in and just pretty much right into tears. She just said, "Oh my God," So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think if you tell someone you're living in a church, their first thought is, how can you live in a church? Like, doesn't that freak you out? Isn't that creepy? This church has always had a good feeling.
Yeah.
So I grew up going to church, right? And it's so different living in a church. There's a good vibe here. We've heard a lot of stories as well. So a lot of the members of the church have come here and told us, well, we were married here.
Oh, wow.
We even had a couple come It was their anniversary.
Oh.
Do you remember that? And I forget what year, but it was a big one.
Oh, wow.
And they stood here and they took a picture because they were married in this church.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
stepsister was married in this church, and I didn't know that
Oh, wow.
till we bought the church.
Yeah.
My best buddy Kim was married in this church. She was
Yeah.
a member of this church.
Yeah.
And through some history that we've been given to us, 2 family members in my family gave the first $50 for this church
Oh, wow.
to be built. So
Yeah.
I've kind of come back on my family.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It's
but all good
definitely-
feelings.
Yeah.
We even had a 94-year-old come through here and just say, "Wow, you guys did
Yeah.
great. You saved this property."
Yeah.
You know, and it
And
was
he was a member of the church.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's all good vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I love, so it took us 8 months to renovate the church. And then in December of
20.
December 2019, we moved into the church.
Yes.
And so that's given us over a year to live here and to feel out everything, and
Right.
everything works so well.
Yeah.
You know, like the layout works well.
Oh, yeah.
If there anything needed to be tweaked, we've done that. So everything, it's such a good home because we've lived in it. So we know
Yeah.
that this is a really
Yeah.
good space for
Yeah.
a family.
You know it better than anyone.
Yeah, and I'm very happy we did that because we could have just easily converted the church and
Yeah.
put it on the market.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
wanted a little taste of what we've done, and honestly,
Yeah.
it's been amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even for family functions here, you know,
Oh,
there's so
for
much
sure.
flow, grandbabies,
Yeah.
tons of space for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
really great year.
Yeah. Well, and it just feels like a family dream home. Like it doesn't feel like I'm in anything other than just this amazing home. But it's more than that, right? Because it's like this energy where like it's kind of breathtaking, right? When people come in, it's just like, wow. Like I think everyone will have that.
I think that's the first word people use when
Yeah,
they walk in.
yeah.
They always say, wow.
Instead of hello, it's wow. Well, and especially when you're selling a home too, it's like that. You really want people to have that wow, and I know the photos will look amazing here, and the video will be amazing here. But when you walk in that front door, and that's what you want, because I selling homes, I never want people to be underwhelmed. Like everyone's been there where you walk into a house and it's like, oh my goodness, like the living room looked like a football field in the photos, and now it's literally like 10 by 10. Like I need to get out right away, right? But
Yeah.
here there's like an energy, and you know it's hard to put my finger on it, right? But how about you guys? Like, is there a favorite, you know, aspect or change that you made? I'm sure, you know, it's overwhelming, everything that the love and detail. But is there, you know, like this kitchen such a focal point, and even some of these appliances like are amazing in themselves, and the ceilings. But what about yourselves? Is there something that is your favorite element, or a couple?
Well, I think for myself, keeping the original trusses of the church was
Yeah.
a huge thing.
Yes.
So it still looks like a church, but it feels like a home.
Yeah.
And that was my number one when we bought the churches. I want these to be exposed. I don't want
Yeah.
to cover them up.
Yeah.
That was a big one for me.
And all the moldings and
Yeah, and also the black arches. So they were
Yeah.
white.
Okay.
So when we walked in, you didn't see the arches until you spent some time here.
Right.
And then I was like, wait a second, there's a huge arch back there. I'm going to paint it black so it
Yeah.
pops when people walk in.
Yeah, I think that was
know?
a smart idea.
But just kind of keeping a little bit of that history, because we have done a lot of research.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of work that went into this in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we don't want anybody to forget that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And for me would be the timber framing. The wall behind us here
Yep.
is actually stood traditionally. There's no nails. It's
Oh, wow.
wooden pegged.
Yeah.
And we pulled it up, stood it, and it was a pretty big aha moment when all the walls started going up.
Oh, for sure.
And then you started to feel yourself around the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my moment for sure.
It was pretty exciting seeing the walls go up.
A little nerve-wracking.
It was, yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Yeah.
We got it done. We got everything done
Yeah.
safely here, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know you guys worked well, and like you did everything by the book as well, so to speak, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes, we
that's
did.
that's the last
Yeah.
thing we want is if it wasn't done by the book or wasn't done right, but it was done, as it should be,
Yes.
and
There was a lot of people in the area that wanted to see us succeed.
oh, for sure.
So there was a lot of good information shared to us, right? How to do it right. And that's how we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it properly as, like our permits and our
Yeah.
blueprints and certain things had to be engineered. We wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that we didn't cheat anywhere, that everything was done properly, because that we knew that this would be handed down to somebody else one day.
Yeah.
And we didn't want any problems with that, right?
Yeah.
Like, so we wanted somebody to move in and feel like, wow, I live in a magazine and I don't have to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone wants move-in ready. Yeah, you guys have done the hard work,
Yeah.
and not everyone can find the materials that you find, and then do the quality of work that you do. Like it's this rare, kind of combo. And maybe can you tell us a little bit of like where did you find all these materials? And they have like this great, many of them historical significance, local significance, like, just all these stories that you've told me about a lot of the different things. It's just like, wow, like, for this to come together it's kind of like a miracle, all these different things.
It is, yeah.
I'm pretty sure we had the universe looking after us.
Yeah.
I'm sure she can vouch for it.
Yeah, for sure.
They found us
Yeah.
in moments. Go ahead.
Every time we needed something,
Yeah.
it just for some reason showed up.
Yeah.
Now Jonathan had all the beams. He had tore down some homes and barns, before we purchased the church.
Yeah.
And so he already had those in storage and never knew what he was going to do with them, but they came in pretty handy.
Yeah.
We were looking for some chippy white barn wood.
Well, actually, it started off, how are we going to get drywall on that wall?
Yeah. Yeah, and then we have a local gentleman that we go see for our reclaimed wood once in a while, and he had a pile of chippy white barn wood, and we're like,
Yep.
is that for sale?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, yep.
And there's more.
And
Okay,
there's
we'll
more.
take it all.
We'll take it all. We'll just
Yeah.
take it all. And I think that's one of my favorite features is this. It's like putting a barn inside of our church, but
Yeah.
it sounds silly, but it warms up the space, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like we're really big on using reclaimed material.
Yeah.
Everything that we have found is local.
Yeah.
There's way too much to mention, but for example, our island in the kitchen came from Drumbo. It sat in a
1895.
1895 hardware store. But when Jonathan was a little wee guy, he used to go buy his candy at this counter.
Oh, wow.
We have friends who have proposed at this counter when it was in the store in Drumbo.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So there's so much history to every little piece that we
Yeah.
found for the church. We wanted to keep everything local.
Yeah.
Yeah. We wanted everything to have a story.
Yeah.
And when she came home from getting her hair cut and said, this is for sale, I said, just buy it.
Yeah. Just
Doesn't
buy it.
matter, just buy it. Which doesn't happen all the time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah. But definitely we love the reclaimed. We made sure that before we bought anything new, can we find this, that's been previously used?
Yeah.
Can we find something? So
And all it takes is a little extra work.
Right?
it's extra work. It's a
Yeah.
lot of denailing and sanding, but it's
Yeah.
so worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you seem really well connected, because like, and how these opportunities kind of maybe have fallen in your lap, like it's because you have this great network and connections, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
someone's gonna luck out and they can just purchase it. they,
Yes.
they don't have to have all those connections. They don't have to do
Yeah.
all those things. They don't have to do the work. It's move-in ready. Oh, and one thing too, I wanna maybe you can speak about, but the ball diamond in Princeton. Can you tell us
Yeah,
about?
for sure.
So we were told that there was some light posts brought in from BC, Western Red Cedar posts in the 50s, 1956. And they were decommissioned, I think, in the 80s. They were held on to by a gentleman, and they made themselves to Drumbo and were cut into 1-inch boards. And we took those 1-inch boards and lined our bathrooms with them. So we reclaimed them, planed them down, and installed them in all the bathrooms.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work.
Oh,
It was, but look at it
yeah,
now.
yeah. I think everything when I look at it, it's like that must have been a lot of work, right? Probably like even like your fridge fits perfectly there. Like even though it's easy to buy something, like even that I'm sure was not easy to.
There were some very tight moments there where like, okay, I'm certain it fits.
Yeah.
And it fit. Yeah.
And it fit like a glove.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing I wanted to ask you was there something or a couple things where it was like your biggest challenge? Like, what was there, like, I know it was a lot of work, but was there something that was like, oh man, I don't know how we can make this happen, or was there something like that, or was it?
As smooth as this project went, there's always going to be something that you're going to run into that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Two things, I think, for myself, having a vision and trying to explain that to someone.
Okay.
There are days where I wanted to pull my hair out. I'm like, these men are not understanding me, and like there are times where we literally had to like draw a picture with a crayon. You know what I mean? I'm like, but it went well, and we understood each other in the end. The one big challenge we had is we had to work with this existing shell. Right? So you have a church, you have to work with it, it's got to work.
Yeah.
So our pantry and our bathroom has changed sizes over the build because we had to make sure that in the basement,
floor joists.
The floor joists matched up with these walls.
Right.
And drains and water supply.
Yeah.
For me, the kitchen was my spot in the church. So the pantry shrinking was a compromise. But at the end, I think
It's a very large pantry, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But other than that, there wasn't.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like weather was perfect. Like everything was perfect.
Yeah. Even now with the front porch going on, and
Front porch.
it's going to be the most beautiful weather we've seen all year.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Everything just went so well.
Yeah.
We had a great team, good people.
Yes.
Yeah, and that just makes it. Yeah.
So her brother, Jean-Marc, he is a very big part of accomplishing this.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful to see the brothers and sisters working together.
Yeah.
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big part.
Yeah, we created a lot of memories with having him here with us. And I have 3 very talented brothers, so it was really nice to bring one on and guide us through certain things, and like the staircase.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was a must. I really wanted
and
this staircase.
it's a work of art, and
Yeah.
It's just really it's all these works of art, just everything coming together, right? Oh, and maybe I can kind of fire through a bunch of questions quickly that people had.
Sure.
One of them was like, oh wow, like these amazing high ceilings. Like, is it expensive to heat the home here?
So on that note, we put in a 10-foot ceiling fan.
Yeah.
To keep
and
the
they
air pushed
didn't
down.
know about that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that really helps.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Yep. And insulating and new windows. Yeah.
And also the church is heated with 2 separate furnaces.
Oh, yeah,
so it's
2 furnaces.
zoned where it meets, and it doesn't, so the furnaces are never working overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's zoned well, and it's always nice and cozy in here.
Yeah, and every time I've been in here, like I've noticed, okay, it's very comfortable in here. Like it's not cold by any means. So, and I'm the kind of guy that likes to stay warm and cozy. So if it can pass my test, then that's pretty good. One question was, when can I move in? So do they like guests? Well, you've even had people here. They don't want to leave, right? Because it's such a nice space.
Yeah,
Actually, that was
and you guys are very welcoming people. So for you to say that, it's like
that was the biggest challenge of working here.
Yeah.
Is people stopping by and wanting to talk.
Yeah, true, right? It's like
there's
I'm working.
a lot of talkers, which is fine because I understand, because I would have been just as excited as anybody to see this going on. So it was really nice.
Yeah.
And honestly, I do have to mention something. Our so we started the Facebook page, the
Yes.
Chippy Church Journey.
Yes.
Our followers,
Yeah.
thank you, amazing. We even asked them before we closed up our walls. We asked them to send us in prayers, good vibes, quotes, notes.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I took those,
Yeah.
all those words and put them on. My daughter wrote them on paper. I put them in Ziploc bags and I stapled them inside of our walls.
Inside the walls.
So
Yeah.
the good vibes
Yeah.
are inside the walls.
That's part of the
Literally.
secret. That's part of the
Forever.
secret.
Yeah. So it's something that I always forget about.
Yeah.
But then like Jonathan will remind me, like, remember we put good vibes in these walls.
Literally
You know?
built into the home.
Yeah. And those are from our Chippy Church followers.
Yeah. Thank you, Chippy Church followers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just blown away, right? Everyone's been like cheering for you and just
Yeah.
loving it, and just all this like positive energy. It's no wonder that when people are here, they can feel it. Like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. That's kind of the magic of it to
Yeah.
some degree, right?
And they
So,
don't want to leave. They want
don't wanna
to be
leave.
guests forever.
Yeah. So everyone's excited to see this video, the photos. Yeah. Your friend Mike, he's had the opportunity to be here, and it's amazing. He says you've done an incredible job. Hats off to you.
Mike the gas guy.
Yeah.
We love Mike.
Yeah. Wanda wants to see more pics. Amanda, she asked about the challenges. We talked about that. Oh, did you uncover any hidden treasures in the process? You know, where, you know, if someone opened up a wall, they would find some amazing notes. You know, did you find any interesting treasures at all when you did the
Just
reno? or-
dimes.
Just lots of dimes.
Lots of dimes.
Throughout the entire project, I kept
Yeah.
finding dimes everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I was
Yeah.
hoping to find something really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we did discover something.
Yeah.
We exposed some of the brick.
Yes.
Because it's triple brick. They
Yeah.
had put plaster on it.
Yeah.
We exposed some of the brick, and I found a note
Oh,
that
wow.
said that at the top of the stairs,
The repair.
lightning had struck the church in the 1800s.
Oh wow.
And and obviously that wouldn't happen today, but it was really neat that somebody actually wrote that on the plaster.
Oh, wow.
So I took pictures of it
Yeah.
and saved
Yeah.
them.
So you got pictures of
Yeah.
that. Yeah. No buried treasure though.
No.
No.
Yeah. And they said, like, is the energy noticeably different? And you know, living here, and
Oh.
like, you would say yeah, and
Yeah,
I
and-
would say yeah.
And we talked about that, like how it just has such a great feel, such
Yeah.
good vibes in here. And
yeah, it's just very exciting. Like,
Yeah.
it's the kind of place, like you said, to have family over and friends over, and
Yeah.
you know,
It
everyone's
is.
just it's so spacious here, and just so much finished square feet, right? Like just over 3,500 finished square feet, just upstairs alone.
Yeah.
And if you need a break from people, you can head out to the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and reading some comments here. A lot of people have, you know, always had a dream of living in an old schoolhouse or a church. Shannon mentions how you've maintained the charm of an old church, but you've made it feel like home. That's pretty magical in itself. Funny enough, Joel says it's an extremely magical place to step foot in. Joel Biro, B-I-R-O.
Yeah, so Joel is actually a friend of ours, and he was part of the journey a little bit.
Part of the
and
journey.
he's
Yeah.
he's a good friend of ours.
Yeah, oh, that's excellent. And Carrie asks, was there something that inspired you to renovate a church? Was there an inspiration, or was it just you wanted to do a reno on something, or?
Our inspiration was meeting each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think we both talked about our dreams, and
Yeah.
Jonathan's business and my business kind of came together,
Yeah.
which is Harper and Company now.
Yeah.
And we talked about our dreams, which was sort of renovating either a century home or a church
Yeah.
or a schoolhouse, or something to that nature. And
Yeah.
the church just one day popped up on Facebook.
Yeah.
It was all meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, just everything unfolded, boom, boom, boom,
Exactly,
boom, 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 and
yes.
here we are today. Yeah, everyone is just loving it, and they're so excited, and just a lot of love pouring in here,
Yeah.
you know, maintaining that vibe, which is pretty cool. Someone asks, and this is a big question that you've gotten a lot. And someone asks, how do you part with such a project where you've poured your heart, soul, sweat, blood into this renovation project? So some people ask, how do you say bye to the Chippy Church journey?
Yeah, so when Jonathan and I purchased the church, we always knew that it would be an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We love Princeton, and we thought we'd live here a little longer. But I think because we're still young and still have all this energy, and I can't sit still,
No.
we thought about our next project.
Yeah.
Now the church is coming to an end. The last project is being done today, or this week, which is the front porch. And I think the satisfaction is doing it from beginning to end and seeing it complete. Obviously, it's probably going to be hard to say goodbye, but I think we have a dream of perhaps maybe coming back someday and seeing what the next
Caretakers.
what they do with it, and what can they add to this project.
Yeah.
But I think for us it feels complete, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for the next one.
Stay tuned for the next
Yes.
project.
Yeah.
I like that you're not limiting yourselves, right? Like a lot of people, it's like, okay, I'm in my forever home, but you have a big vision, right? And like this project doesn't happen with a big vision. And you know what? I think a lot of people think, oh wow, they're selling it. And I think the difference is between a normal, let's just call it a normal reno, compared to what you have done is, you've lived here, it's your home, and you've poured all this love and attention and detail into it. You're not like a cold, no offense to contractors obviously, but you're not a cold contractor. You're like big-hearted dreamers, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
And so it's not limited to this. It keeps pushing forward. Excited for the next project, and this will keep that momentum going. So
Yeah, and I think as well is like, we're able to tell anybody, whatever size your project is, don't be scared to jump into it, and just do it safely, obviously. But I think for us as being an inspiration to others.
Yeah, absolutely.
There were, there's challenges in everything you do, but don't give up. Because like this was a huge one for us. So now we know that we can go do something else in life, and and not be afraid to do it. I mean, I do look forward to our next project because it's going to be totally different.
Yeah.
But we can't talk about that yet because it's not concrete, and I don't want to put anybody's hopes up.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll focus on this journey for today, right?
Yeah.
So, that's an amazing answer, and I think people will understand. And hey, here's their opportunity if they want to buy it, right? So it's a really rare, once in a lifetime opportunity, right? So
I totally agree.
Someone can come be the king and queen of Princeton here, Yeah. Well, and you guys, just before I keep reading, you guys still have the bell here, and
Yes.
and you ring it on birthdays, right? So have you been doing that still, or?
Yeah, we've been doing it on birthdays, but during the pandemic, we did it for all the people that were essential workers. We did it every night at 7:30.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
7:30, and the local people around would sit outside to wait for it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So.
And the locals love it. They love that the church has it's alive now, because it did kind of stay, it was empty for 10 years.
Yeah.
So them hearing the church bells again, it kind of gives the town a warm feeling.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a very charming little town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a charming town, and even just being out front, we're just minutes to town, but it's so peaceful being out there.
It's very peaceful.
So it's I just love country properties like this because it's just like a little slice of paradise, right? So
And it's
so
just
nice.
close enough.
Just close enough. Yeah, just close enough. So someone's mentioning about they want to hear about the upgrades, plumbing, insulation, electrical. Is there anything you can tell us about that? I know in my perspective, like everything has been done, boom. But can you tell us about we know there's a lot of love behind the walls. What about the electrical, plumbing, and that aspect? Put people's put people at ease.
So really the structure is the only thing we used.
Right.
All plumbing, electrical, everything is brand new in here. We didn't reuse any of those systems. No, started from scratch.
Yeah.
So
That's what everyone wants in a home, modern updates with that old charm and character, right?
Yeah.
So,
it's kind of like having a new home in an old shell, right?
Yeah.
So everything is brand new, from the furnaces to the ductwork,
Yeah.
Hot water
plumbing,
heater,
everything.
yeah. It's
Very
impressive.
large septic.
Yeah, brand new.
Brand new.
Brand
septic,
new.
Yeah.
That's pretty
we
amazing.
even added more insulation.
Yeah.
We didn't know if we really needed it, but we were like, let's just do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's excellent. When someone says, like with the rezoning to residential, can you tell us about that? Was there anything that had to, was there any big hurdles there? Or?
No, not really. There's just steps to follow and public meetings and
Oh, yeah.
anybody has any, I don't know what you call that. Concerns about it, they appeal it or not. So yeah, it was all done through the local township in Blanford-Blenheim.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Any other tips or advice for someone who might be looking to do their own reno transformation? I know that you probably write a book on it, but
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say that you have to prepare yourself financially,
yeah,
physically, because it is a lot of work, and mentally, because you don't know what you're going to run into. For me, those things were very important. I felt that we were there, but we have talked to couples who've done something similar, and like 2-3 years later, they're still living through this reno.
Oh, wow.
So definitely prepare yourself, and yeah, hire the right people to help you out. We had a great team, so we definitely hire everybody again.
And we actually found the value in taking the year off and doing it ourselves
Yes.
compared to paying someone else. So it brings your costs down, but you don't have an income, but you get this.
Yeah.
You get this.
Yeah.
You get this.
So
Yeah, so that's pretty
Yeah, for sure.
that attention to detail. Is there any other points that we should touch on before we wrap up? And we'll be back soon with the full listing video, and everyone will get the all access on the full video, and it's gonna be an exciting video. We'll get some exciting drone shots and everything like that, and everyone's just wanting to see more photos and more of this church home reno. Anything last before we kind of wrap up for today?
I think you touched on it though, photos don't quite do it all the justice until you actually walk and be in this space. So if you're interested, come have a look.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure, and we're always open to questions, and that's why we set up the Chippy Church journey.
Yep.
Is we want to be, we're out there. We've put this whole project out there, and we're willing to answer any questions that anybody has, because there's so much to talk about. I'm sure that we didn't touch on everything today because there's just so much.
Yeah.
And there's also, there's the full basement, for example. Like we
Yes.
still have like another level that could has potential.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, we're excited to do the full video tour for everyone soon, and yeah, if anyone has any questions, they can comment below on this post. Share it with someone if they're looking to do a transformation, if they're looking to buy one, of course. And there you have it for today. Well, thank you guys for letting us dig a little bit deeper. This is definitely really special, and we're looking forward to the whole process. So there'll be a lot more excitement to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Doing this.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.